So the next step in the research process is to continue gathering information about the ancient culture that you've chosen. And as we've talked about before, it is very important that you keep a list of all the sources that you've looked at. And that includes keeping citations for each of those sources. So during week 4, you use the online database to locate some articles for your research. And the really nice thing about online databases is that it gives you the citations. All you have to do is copy and paste them. So you worked with that in week 4. But as you continue your research, you might want to go beyond the online databases and find some other websites or books or journals for your sources. So how do you create those citations? Well, there's an online tool called MyBib that is really nice for this, and I'm going to show you how to use this. So using the link that'll be in week 5, go to MyBib, and it'll look like this. So let's say that I found this resource called Maya Civilization. It's from worldhistory.org. And just as a side note, this is actually a good resource for those of you that are still researching. You might want to check it out for your ancient culture. And I need to create a citation for this. So I am going to copy that URL. Now I'm going to go back to MyBib and click on New Citation. And I'm going to just paste that citation right there and hit search. Sometimes when you enter a URL, if there's several articles on the same page, it might come up with several hits. In this case, there's just one result. Looks like it's the right one. So we'll click on that arrow. And then it always wants you to double check to make sure this is the correct citation. So the author is Joshua Mark. Title of it is Maya Civilization. It was published in 2012. Let's take a close look here. Author is Joshua Mark, published in July of 2012, and yeah, the title is Maya Civilization. So this looks correct. The only other thing that you need to change on your citations, or I should say add to your citations, is to include the date that you took the information from that web page. The reason why this is important is you've probably experienced it where you've looked at a website one day and then you come back a couple days later and it's either changed or it's gone. So this is a good way to record what that website looked like on the day that you accessed it. And if needed, there's even a cool way to go back and look at old websites. And we can talk about that later. But to do that, just click on Today. That was the day I looked at the article. Hit Save. And there it is. It's perfectly formatted for you. So let's try another one. I also looked at Encyclopedia Britannica. And again, another good source. So I'm going to copy that URL. Go back to MyBib, hit New Citation. Paste the website in there. Hit Search. Looks like this is the one. So we're going to hit the arrow. This is one thing that I personally would like you to change. So if you come across something that doesn't name a very specific author and it just does something like this, the editors of or the writers of, take that out. And then in your works cited list, it will just start with the name of the article, and that's going to make things easier later on. All right, so it's the Maya People, published in 2016, the URL. Remember, we're just going to add the date that it was viewed. Hit Save. And there it is. And again, we're just going to take that author thing off since there was not a specific author. So for every source that you look at that is outside of the online databases, you can use MyBib. So you see that there's also choices for example, books. You can also create citations for books using this. So once you've gotten all the sources on here, you can download this to your computer. Before you do that, you can go in and rename. Let's call this Working Bibliography. Okay. And then download. And for us, for our school, go ahead and download it right to Word. It gives you a nice little confetti, yay, celebration. And you see that it downloads here. Watch for the next video and I'll show you the next steps to take. If you have questions, go ahead and contact me, Mrs. Breidenbach. Remember, you can text me, you can message me on Teams, you can email me, you can even call me. But if you get stuck on this, please let me know.